Welcome to the Metal Prognosis. My name is Lee, and on today's video we are going to be highlighting the bass, and how we're going to be doing that is via the Neural DSP's plugin Darkglass. Now I've used this a fair bit, but I've only used about 5% of it. So let's get it all set up. Let me get the screen capture happening so we can get a nice view of it, and I'll show you a little bit what I know, and let's explore some things that I haven't seen as well and see the overall picture of what this Darkglass plugin has to offer. Alright, now I've moved the camera and just turned my seat slightly this way. Let's grab this bad beast and let's start playing some bass and checking it out. So, firstly, that's the sound that we've got coming through nice and raw. But let's bring out the fun stuff, which is Darkglass. Here we go. All right. So firstly, this is what we've got going. This is what we've got going, which I really like about Neural DSP. My friend Nick Leonard, who's got his own YouTube channel, pointed out to me that I didn't really notice until he pointed out to me is the default settings that you got as soon as you open up. Always sound awesome. So straight off the bat, before we touch anything, that is sounding pretty rad. So let's have a look through it. So first thing I like what they've done is they've got a gate, but they've engaged it. Awesome to start with. So many plugins I see, so many other different companies have gates and noise suppressors, and they never have it turned on to start with. I think they're really selling themselves short by not just having them engaged to start with. So here is the equivalent of the amp headers here. So this is where we have the master, we have a blend, which is amazing. Level and drive. And before I go on, let's just muck around a little bit this while we're going. So if we have the drive all the way up, we get awesome grinding type of gritty bass tone. I love it. But that might be too much for the actual track. And because I've got the blend mode here, if we just dial back a bit of that, you still get that nice rich bottom dynamic from the the original signal that we've got going through there, which is very cool. I don't think the gate's really strong or high enough at the moment, actually, because it's just a little bit too much, but that's all right, because we're only going off the default settings. So yeah, EQs, bass, and low mids and high mids, which is really cool to be able to muck around with those. Different cutting points here, which is really handy, and different frequencies you can home in on. You can keep the aspects of it and just take away the distortion. Really cool. Yeah, you can change the different what they call grunt. So that's really cool. I mean, there's a lot to try and go through. It's just a matter of what's the best way of actually doing it. So starting up from the top, let's just go from the top there. So firstly, we have the input, which is cool. The gate, very cool. You can split it to stereo or mono. We've only got going through a mono track here at the moment. So that's the only choice we've got, which is fine. Sampling, which is really cool. There are a bunch of presets. Yeah, there actually is a decent amount of presets here. Oh, John Stockman went hog wild with it, especially compared to Liam. Fair enough, someone got more excited. That's fine. We also have here is the different model that you want. So you get the vintage or the microtubes, which is cool. Haven't dealt much with the vintage, and that's got a hell of a punch to it, which is really cool. We also have EQ link here, which I've never touched before. So let's touch it. So that's cool. Let's move on. Get a bit more gate because that's better. Just because I'm not editing any of the signal that we're capturing here. Might be a little bit too harsh with all that hiss going through, sorry. So here we have the cabinet section. The position of the mic, which is really, so firstly, what type of mic you would like, which is all a pretty standard mics that are common in a studio. And you can load up your own third party or your own ones that you've created. IRs in here as well. They've got which I like a lot of VST plugins are starting to do now with IR capabilities, is having dual or having two different type of mics you can blend together. And with this too, they've got a really cool feature of, so we've got, you can put one out of phase to see what's being cut or taken out and clashing with either mic and the positions that they are in. So that's a very lovely touch that they put on. And a straight on and off too. So if you just want to hear what it sounds like with, in this case, the 57. All right, the mic level, as you can see, is way, way down. But that's all right. I just want to see quickly, am I capturing enough of this for everyone? Maybe not. I think I might just bring it up a little bit to there, because I think I was pointing out stuff that I couldn't see before. You should be able to see it now if you didn't see it before, sorry. Which is down here, you got the off and the phase the phase option to turn it on or off. And if we just wanted to hear that's what that sounds like on its own. That's pretty cool. I like it. I like a lot of things about this. Got MIDI controls, so if you want to put it to an outboard and control different presets that way you can. And you've got a tuner, which is lovely. I mean, it's nothing fancy, but you know, it's a tuner. It shows it on a little loud. That is close enough for this video though. So there we have it. There is a quick tour and quick rundown of this setup here. So there is a bunch of stuff, and I'm super surprised about this vintage. I should utilize this one more compared to the micro tubes because, yeah, that's got a hell of a punch to it, which is nice. Let's see here. Let's run through just a couple of quick presets just so you can hear some extreme differences. So that's cool. That's big. Nice and clean. Is it crisp? Grind. That's got the best title. It definitely grinds. I like it. Gritty. I'm more of a grind person, clearly. All sounding pretty cool. Missed the note. There we go. Clean. We've got synth distortion. Not very punchy though. Now I can keep going on through it and see all the different mics that they've done and whatnot. Oh, it looks like they've got different IRs for all these too or something because it's not allowing you to change any of that with all the presets. That's cool. And I've noticed some of them are stereo and mono, so that's pretty cool too. Lots of things I'm exploring for the first time here. So let's go back to default. Give me some vintage. Bit more gate. Bit more gate, just to clean up a bit quicker. That'll do. That's not too bad. Take out a bit of the grunt. Alright, so let's have a quick jam with this. Now I've got something I set up here for a previous one all ready to go. So let's just jam along to this. So just like in the previous video I did with this, I don't have clicks on because I'm capturing this audio equivalently live, so to speak. I don't want to put clicks on because it would be very unpleasant for you. So I've just given myself a quick count in. So I've got to try my best to be on the beat for the first one. So yeah, I'll have this quick jam with doubling up on the guitars and having some drums, just because it's fun to do. And then we'll have a chat about it and my final thoughts afterwards. So here we go. Time for some final thoughts on the Darkglass binaural DSP plugin. Firstly, it's really convenient that a lot of it is all just in the one thing. Having the gate there, having the pedal with all the different EQ spectrums and the way how you can manipulate the sound, as well as having the cab and the different mic combinations and everything there, and having the phase where you can put it in and out of phase to really see the relationship between the two microphones is really convenient. It's very powerful and really well laid out. The fact that it looks like the actual equipment, I feel anyway, coming from a more analog background, it makes it very user-friendly for me to actually see where they're all located and really emulates like you've got the actual physical product there and using it. So that's definitely a big plus. So let me tell you my story on how I kind of started using this plugin, because I use it nearly every single video I do, so it's definitely overdue me giving a video purely based on this Darkglass VST plugin. When I finished recording my album, Shadows of Bay, after I did that, I updated my studio. So I was running a very analog setup with my old computer, and then when I put this one together that I've got here, I decided to try work more into the digital realm. And one of the first things I got was the Darkglass VST plugin to give it a shot. This is before I started this YouTube channel. And the bass player I had at the time, I sent him a couple of tracks, some new songs that we're working on while the new album was working in post-production. And he heard the bass there and he was like, "What have you done to that bass? That sounds like phenomenal and huge and big." And I was like, "Oh, I got this new plugin, rah rah." And he's like, "Oh, I've heard about that, the actual pedal." And he was a big fan of the actual pedal. And he asked me, he goes, "Can we put that through the album?" And because I captured the whole album, start that again. Since I captured the bass all with DI, and then added effects onto it afterwards, I had all the dry tracks there. So I thought, we just went into lockdown, and the album was being delayed because we're all waiting to see if lockdown is going to wait for 2 weeks so we can do like a gig, do a few gigs and do like a big promotional run for it, or if we need to do it 100% online because, well, which is what we ended up doing because lockdown is still going where I'm at the moment currently. So it's been going on for nearly 2 years. So I thought there's absolutely no reason why I can't go through the album again and redo all the bass, which meant I had to redo the drums and remix the guitars and everything else into it, but it had that big of an impact for both of us on the characteristics it added to the bass that we already pre-recorded. I kind of felt like I couldn't not do that, if you understand the zen of that double negative there. I couldn't just leave the album as it was. It really did. Now they had accessibility to such a brutal and such grunt tones, I definitely wanted to use it. And that's pretty much what we did, and that's what ended up on the album. So, am I a fan of it? Absolutely. I've utilised it in lots of recordings now, mainly for YouTube, because that's what I'm doing mostly these days. But it's definitely a very straightforward and solid plugin, and as I think I said before, if I didn't, I'll definitely state it now. I probably use 5% of its capabilities, and I still love it, and I'm still getting a lot out of it. It can do a hell of a lot more than what I've adventured into, and even in this video today, just running through the quick tour with yourself, I found a few other things too. So I'm actually keen to see now how much further I can take it and what else we can do it just within that program and not needing to chain anything else around it. So that's it. There's a quick story for you. There is a bit of me babbling on and playing bass. And for any bassists out there and purists, I'm very sorry that I used a pick, but that's the best way in how I can get grunt and grind out of my bass tone, because I'm not that crash hot just using my fingers. And every time I do videos just with my fingers, someone steps up and goes, please don't do that. They don't enjoy it. So that's the reason why I normally reach out for a pick instead of going more, all natural with using just fingers. Definitely hope you enjoyed this journey. I definitely enjoyed putting it together, and I thoroughly look forward to chatting with you next time. And until next time, please stay safe.